Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It is fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Anthony Kalia. And then that video where we looked at his song, The Prayer, we talked about the fact that maybe prayer is part of all of our lives. It's those words that we shoot up into wherever. There can be prayer. So I trust you enjoyed that one. Well, we're going from there to a bunch of guys. They were formed in 1980. Well, it's probably more one guy than a bunch of guys. Very much in the pop new wave genre in Scotland. And the band we're talking about today is Aztec Camera. Now, Aztec Camera pretty much was the brainchild of Roddy Frame, who is a multi-instrumentalist, just one of these musical geniuses, really good at what he does, great singer, great guitarist, all of the stuff that goes along with it. And over the time Aztec Camera's been around, he's just been gathering musicians to help him record and to sing his songs. Now, between 1983 and 1995, he's released 6 studio albums, and there's been 20 singles amongst those albums. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about Aztec Camera, because it may not be a band you've heard about, as I said, it's early 1980s, and if you have heard about them, well, you'll know how compelling these guys actually are. If you haven't, I'll just check a Wikipedia entry below so you can actually read a little bit more about them. Because in amongst the musicians that he actually uses to help him play, Roddy has engaged some absolutely iconic names to get the Aztec Camera story to come to life. It's a great name, Aztec Camera. No one really knows where the name came from. I suppose I've got a little bit of a conspiracy theory for you. His name is Roddy Frame. And you think about frame, and you think about framing a picture. Well, that kind of goes along maybe with cameras. And Aztec Camera, that's kind of just a little bit of, I suppose, a different look of life through a different lens. And so I suppose that's my own little conspiracy theory. It's probably not right, but I thought I'd just let you know anyway. Now, there's a song we need to talk about when we talk about Aztec Camera, and this is the song Somewhere in My Heart. This came out in 1987 off the album Love. Now, when I think about the words Somewhere in My Heart, there's some other lines, Candle burns for you, and you're always going to be part of me. That's the sort of thing we're talking about here. Somewhere in my heart, it brings up some really interesting thoughts. I can think of a few contexts where we will have somewhere in my heart moments, or somewhere in our heart moments. Now, if someone has died, that's probably a really good example of the fact that person probably never leaves your life, never really leaves your heart. They leave their own indelible mark upon you, and they will just remain in your heart probably forever. We don't ever really get over people, I don't think. We carry them with us as we go through life, well and truly. And if you are, I suppose, facing that situation right now, my thoughts and condolences really go with you. I suppose the thing is that amongst the grief that you're feeling, which is necessary, is also this concept of the fact that that person was in your life. So you hold both of those two things together, and somewhere in your heart there's a light burning for that person. Particularly if they're a life partner, also parents, because parents can leave, not always, but can leave a really good mark on us, a good legacy on us, and sometimes it's their values that we carry forward with us, carrying on the legacy in our own lives. I know some others, somewhere in my heart moments, which often like the first kiss is something we'll remember, or our first time is something we'll remember. Or, we might remember a particular iconic moment where we think, oh, I just really long to get back there almost. I remember going on a bit of a road trip a little while back and going to this little town of Victoria, and there was just something about the place that just captured me. I remember when I went to Kangaroo Island well, actually last year now, in 2020, with the fires, there was a particular image there that really captured me, and is a picture that will always stay with me because it's somewhere in my heart. Interestingly, the word somewhere, we don't actually know where in our heart it is. We just know it's in there somewhere. And that's all that matters. I think maybe our hearts, I suppose hearts being symbolic here of our inner being, the essence of who we are, all of these memories and all of these thoughts and all of these feelings that we have, we carry with us through our lives. And in a sense, our hearts get bigger and bigger and bigger as our experiences become more and more and more. And sometimes I liken our heart a bit like, it's a little bit like a suitcase that we open from time to time when we put things in there, and we carry that suitcase with us wherever we go. We don't want to forget the things that mean a lot to us. We don't want to get over them. We want to carry them with us wherever we go. And certainly if you are facing 2021 where in 2020 someone significant was in your life and they're no longer there, they are now in your heart. The memories are there. The way they made you feel is there. That's where they reside. They're somewhere in your heart. Well, I trust that will be an encouragement for you today. We don't ever want to get over people, particularly those who were significant to us. We don't want to get over them. You just can't turn love off like that. You carry them with you, probably for the rest of your life. And that's okay to do that, because I made your life richer somehow, somewhere in my heart. So I trust that will all be an encouragement for you today. Well, on to the clips, and yes, we have to have Somewhere in My Heart. As I said before, this came off the 1987 album Love, and this is the official clip. It's funny how this song's come off the album Love, right? It's almost like Roddy knew something here. He was thinking, well, somewhere in my heart, love is just something we can't turn off. So that's the official clip of that one. And here you see Roddy frame with a bunch of guys around him and just singing his heart out with this particular clip. You'll notice in the middle of the song, there's a bit of a guitar solo. And of course, Roddy is doing that one because he's quite an incredible instrumentalist. And you'll also notice how fantastic his voice is as well. And I thought also we need to get a live clip of Aztec Camera. And I stumbled on this one, Reason for Being. Now, Reason for Living, not Reason for Being, Reason for Living. And from as far as I can tell, I think this came off the Best of Aztec Camera 1999 album. This is a live version of that song, and apparently the clip has also got a snapshot of Somewhere in My Heart as well, sort of following up in a bit of a concert that he's doing. So both the links to those songs are in the description below, so feel free to have a look at those, and you'll also see the Wikipedia entry is there if you want to know a little bit more about Roddy and Aztec Camera. That's there for you to have a look at as well. And also note the invitation below that if you want me to look at a particular song or a particular artist, you may be thinking, I don't know what the song I want is, I just know I want a song by this particular band. Feel free to chuck it in my direction. I'm more than happy to have a look at that for you. Well, if you've come back for another one of these videos, thank you very much for doing so. If this is your first time, welcome to this Live Reflections Through Music channel. I trust, as I say every time, that this has been an encouragement for you. And if you guys have hung around to the end when we've talked about the fact that somewhere in our hearts we have those people that were significant to us that may not be around anymore. Well, that's it for today. Next time, we're going to go on to Adelaide. That's the place where I'm from, by the way, Adelaide, South Australia. Singer-songwriter Ben Ford Davies. So until then, I'll catch you around.